So I want to just talk about, very briefly, the ages through which I went through the various phases of my life, because we do want to address this issue from the angle of youth and youth vulnerability. At 14 years old, I was running away from a group called Combat 18, who are, if anyone knows, it's a paramilitary neo-Nazi organization, very violent. And we were chased regularly by them, with machetes and knives. And we had to watch many of my friends, I had to watch them stabbed before my eyes. Some of them had hammers put to their heads. And there was some serious violent racism that we were running away from in the streets of Essex, where I was born. At the age of 15, I was falsely arrested by the police, by the Essex police authorities, for suspicion of armed robbery, because my 16-year-old brother was playing with a toy gun, a plastic gun. And so the culmination of that led to me at 16 joining an organization called Hizb ut-Tahrir, which is an extreme Islamist organization that campaigns to create a global superstate, an expansionist superstate ruled by their version or their interpretation of Islam as law. I joined that group at 16, and at the age of 18 was a national coordinator in the UK across universities for the group. At the age of 19, I moved to Pakistan to co-found the group in Pakistan. At the age of 20, I helped recruit Pakistani military officers because our methodology to come to power was to instigate military coups against the regimes. So at the age of 20, I was involved in a conspiracy in the Pakistani army to encourage Pakistani military officers to overthrow the Pakistani regime. At the age of 21, I co-founded this organization, the Danish-Pakistani branch in Copenhagen, in Denmark. By the age of 24, I found myself in Egypt, where I was head of the Alexandria chapter. Ostensibly, I was there to learn Arabic. And a few months after 9/11, at the age of 24, I was arrested, subjected to Hosni Mubarak's dungeons and the torture, and then sentenced to 5 years in prison in Mazra'atura prison in Cairo. And at the age of 28, I left prison after having studied for 4 years and met with former jihadists and the assassins of Sadat and others, the former president of Egypt, and left and came back to the UK, joined again the leadership committee of this organization, but at the age of 28, after 4 years of study, was a much more different person to the one I was when I entered prison as a political prisoner in Egypt. So I unilaterally left the organization and founded Quilliam, which is the world's first counter-extremism think tank, and our purpose is to act as a hub to challenge the propaganda of the Islamist narrative globally, and to act as a focus point for the counter-campaign against the global Islamist narrative. And as Osama said, we work very closely together in the UK and across the world for this cause.